All right, welcome to Tips, Tricks, and Shortcuts. We're just going to be going through a few Google tools and how to make yourself a little bit more efficient on the web. So the first area we'll cover is the Chrome browser. So Control T creates a new tab. So it allows you to go out to a different website real quickly instead of having to come up here and click the old tab button. Many of the shortcuts are also hidden in when you right click on things. So for example, there's new tab and then there's Control T. So a lot of times when you're looking at menus, the shortcuts are right there in your face too. Control W allows you to close a tab, and that's kind of nice. So maybe a kid's playing this stupid game, click the cookie during class because he's bored or just not really into what you want them to be into. So as you walk by, you can just do a quick Control W to close the tab, and you kind of show some magic fingers as you walk by instead of having to try to get to this little X for the student. Control Shift T then reopens that last closed window. So if you know a kid was on an inappropriate or off-task website, you can just do Control Shift T, and that reopens the last closed tab. Basically what that's going into in the Chrome browser is just going into this menu over here with the three dots, and it goes into the history, and then it shows you where you've been. And I'm pretty happy that all my stuff that I have listed here is appropriate. But you can quickly see students' history. The other shortcut then is Control H to actually see all the history as well. So if you just do Control H, well, I'm on a presentation, so that's find and replace. But if I was just on a regular website and I did Control H, it actually opens up the history of the student or yourself if you want to get to something you know you had earlier. So that was real valuable because a lot of times like, I closed that tab by mistake. I need to get back to it. Control D is a quick way to bookmark things. So for instance, if I'm on the Wilson School District website, and in fact, I'll just give you a quick preview of our new website that's coming up hopefully by the end of this coming month. If I wanted to bookmark that, I could come up here and click the star or just Control D, and that brings up the bookmark menu. So that's a quick way that I can bookmark things too as well. Control click is a really handy one. So if you're on a website and you wanted to open up a link, let me see if I can find a link here. So say if I just wanted to open up fiction writing here, I could right click on it, hit open a new tab, and then I won't lose this website I'm on. Or if I hit Control on my keyboard and then click it, it opens it up in its own tab so that you're still on the site that you were, and then this is waiting for you to hop over to that tab. Shift click opens up in a new window rather than control click opens up a new tab. Control tab basically iterates through the tabs you have opened. So you notice it goes from Google Drive to the Writer's Edit website to my tips, tricks, and shortcuts presentation. A really nice handy way too is if you need to navigate away from something and go somewhere else, if you just do Control L, it goes right up into the Omnibox, the web address bar, and then you can type whatever you need to go to. So if you're on a website and you're like, I need to go somewhere, instead of again coming up here and clicking, you can just quickly do Control L, and now I can go anywhere I'd like to go. Control Shift B, that hides and shows your bookmarks bar. It just gives you a little bit more screen space, and it's also not distracting to your students. If you're like me and use your bookmarks a lot, Control Shift B will hide or show your bookmarks. Anytime you hear the word Control too, if you're on a MacBook, it's actually Command, but that's a quick way to show or hide your bookmarks bar. Another nice feature of Chrome and Safari and Internet Explorer is you can Control plus to zoom in on a website, or Control minus to zoom out on a website if you need to show students something in a bigger scope, and then Control 0 goes back to 100%. One thing that's, that all students should know about is Control F. You can find something. So for example, if I'm looking for the word happy, so I can do Control F, HAPPY, and then it basically shows me all the instances of the word happy on this website, and I can go through those. So obviously I do the word the, there's 200 and some words of the, and it just highlights all of them. It's a real nice way to find things on a website pretty quickly. I talked about Control H with you earlier. And then if you also double click up here in the bar of the web, of the window of the Chrome browser, you double click it, it allows you to kind of resize that window. Double click it again and it'll maximize it too as well. If, for instance, you're on a website and things aren't going so hot or something froze, you can just do Control R to refresh rather than coming up to this little area to reload the page. But Control R is a quick way to do that too as well. One thing that I see teachers do a lot is say if they have a problem with Google Drive or need to get there, they'll go to the Wilson School District website, and then they'll try to find like Google Apps down here on the left-hand side, and then that takes them into Gmail. And then once they get into Gmail, they use the app launcher over here, and they get to Google Drive. And every time they go to Google Drive, they're clicking like 7 times. Anytime you need to go to a website often and you need to click a lot to get there, that probably means that, hey, maybe you need to bookmark this website so you can get back to it later. So I'm just going to put this in the bookmarks bar. So another way to get to stuff instead of bookmarking is, like, say if I do want to get to Google Drive, well, if I just start typing drive.google.com or calendar.google.com or mail, remember my yahoo.google.com, they're all ways to get to the different services that Google offers. So Drive, Mail, Calendar, images.google.com, you can search for images quickly, classroom.google.com, etc. Another nice thing too is Google Chrome remembers your documents that you have stored in Google Drive since they're a website. So for instance, we have coaches that we meet and collaborate, have meetings, and we have a running agenda. So if I just start typing INSTR, it remembered there's a Google Doc on my Google Drive called Instructional Collaboration Coach Time. So I can click that and just get there. I don't need to bookmark it. I know that Google Chrome remembers that for me so I can get there, or I know I'm part of a curriculum committee agenda. So I can quickly type in curriculum, and there is that Google Doc that's saved on my Google Drive, and I can quickly get into our agenda for the curriculum committee that we meet with once a month. So just entering the title of the Google Doc will get you to one too as well. And remember that Control L allows you to quickly just go up and start typing Drive, and you can get quickly into your Google Drive too. All right, finishing up some Chrome tips and tricks. When you do bookmark a website, so if I do say go to Wilson School District, and I bookmark it, it gives you a name, Wilson School District Overview, and I'll just save that, and it should fall down here. Here it is down here, and I'll just drag it up to a different area in my bookmarks bar. So it's taking up a lot of room on my bookmarks bar. So for instance, this is Google Calendar, that's Gmail. There's no reason for me to have this say Google Calendar, this say Gmail. So when you bookmark something, you can just remove the name and maybe just do WSD. And that made that bookmark a lot shorter. But if you recognize the icon, which you can't change, but it's given to you by the website, if you do click on that and delete the name, you can then just use the icon then to get to the Wilson School District website. So any one of these bookmarks, when in doubt, you can right click on them, and you can go to edit, and you can name it anything you want to. And then that's what name is seen in your bookmarks bar. But again, if I right click on it, hit edit, I can remove that. And now that bookmark is just an icon, and it allows me to fit a lot more spots. So here's my ShoreTel, there's Moodle, Twitter, my Gmail, YouTube, Google Drive. So I can get a lot more bookmarks up on my bookmark bar accessible. And again, they fall over to here too as well. So it just makes you a little bit more efficient with your bookmarks. Sometimes you have a bunch of tabs open. I'll just reopen that one with Control-Shift-T. So I have 4 tabs open, and maybe, it's time for me to do something else, or the class is about to start, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of doing grad paperwork or something like that. I can bookmark all the open tabs in one shot by just right-clicking on any one of these tabs and selecting Bookmark All Tabs. And what that will do, it'll give you a name of a folder, and I'll just call it Test, for any lack of a better word there, and maybe I'll just put the 0 in front so it stays up top, I believe. So what that did for me is I have a folder now that bookmarked all 4 tabs that I had open automatically. So I can close all these tabs now. And now when I open back up Chrome, I'm like, I want to get back to those 4 tabs that I had open. Well, they're all saved in this folder. But instead of opening up one at a time, I could, hold Control and click each one at a time to open up in their own tabs. Or I can right-click on that again. When in doubt, right-click. And when I right-click on that folder, I can say Open all 4 tabs in a new window or in this window that I'm currently in. So now just reopen that Drive folder. Oops. That Google Drive folder, that website. There's my tips and tricks presentation, which is being loaded. And then the Wilson School District website as well. Also, when you right click on a tab, you can also pin that tab. It just makes it smaller and it removes the X from it, so it's less likely that you'll close the tab by accident. So a lot of times when I'm working during the day, I'll just pin my Gmail and pin my Google Drive so they're always accessible for me throughout the day. Some pretty cool tips too is you can bookmark these websites, docs.google.com/create. And what that does for you is it creates you a bookmark to create a new document in one single click. So instead of me having to go to Google Drive, open up Drive and then go to New Google Document to create a new Google document, I can just open up a tab, go to my bookmark for Google Docs, and that'll create me a Google document. And now I'm off and typing. Or I can go to New Google Docs and type in Google Sheets. And now I'm created a new Google Sheet. Or I can go to Google Slides or Google Drawing. They're all the same idea. Is it's the name of the tool, .google.com/create. There they are right there. Just having some trouble because I'm zoomed in. But basically it's slides.google.com, create, etc. So any of those links you can create, and then you can quickly create documents and things when you need them. Okay, that's all I want to cover there. And then there's some Chromebook specific shortcuts that you might be helpful for you or your students. If you don't have a Chromebook, or if you do, then it's obviously going to be helpful for you. But you can maybe help your students too as well. There's a multiple windows key. So if you have a couple windows open, like I have a spreadsheet here, and then I have the window with all the other stuff. When I do multiple windows, it shows me the other screens that are open. A lot of times kids will hide a game in the background, and then when you come walking by, they'll hop back to your work, and then when you walk away, they'll alt tab back to their game, and then when you walk by, they'll alt tab again back to your work. So you can quickly see what they have open by using that multiple windows key. On a Chromebook, a lot of people complain there's no delete key. Basically, when you're deleting things, all you need to do is hit the Alt backspace, and that'll do your deleting for you. Another nice feature of Chromebooks is you can do the Alt bracket, and what that does is left bracket or right bracket. It just minimizes your window, and then basically you can move it over to the right. So Alt left bracket, Alt right bracket, so I can quickly then pull out this tab and do Alt left, and now I have a split screen between my email and the presentation. So it's a quick way that I can do that too as well. You can also grab tabs and just pop them in and pop them out of other windows too. On a Chromebook again, Alt plus, you can minimize or maximize the window. So plus makes it bigger. Alt minus drops it down into your taskbar here as well. So I can do Alt minus and it minimizes it. If I do Alt plus, when something is kind of like a half window, it'll also maximize it too as well. One fun thing that kids like to do with other kids is Control Alt reload, and what that does is it rotates your screen. Maybe it's Control Shift. Yep, sorry. It's Control Shift and then the reload key, and it basically just rotates your screen 90 degrees. So some kids will go to the bathroom and there's your reload key there, and it's actually Control Shift to rotate the screen. And then Control Alt multiple windows key allows you to take a snapshot of something. So I can do Control Shift multiple windows key, and it turns my screen gray, and then I can drag across and take a picture of anything. And when I let go, it kind of takes a snapshot, and I can copy that to the clipboard. Maybe I'll just make a new slide real quick just to show you what that looks like. So when I paste that image in, it comes in as a separate image, which is a real handy tool because kids can then annotate the web. They can go out to the web, find a picture of anything like a frog or whatever, and take a screenshot and then bring it into a document or a slideshow or something like that. And if you want, on a Chromebook, you can do Control Alt question mark, and that shows you a keyboard layout. So when I hold the Control, it shows me all the shortcuts that are associated with the Control key, the Shift, the Alt, Alt Shift, Control Shift, etc. So it just gives you all the different shortcuts that are available on a Chromebook. And there's also a link here out to more Chromebook shortcuts if you'd like to. If you are working on a Chromebook, there are many different ways you can work with the trackpad. It works kind of like a MacBook rather than a PC. So, your single click, obviously, or moving the pointer isn't anything new or different. But right click is different. You have to use 2 fingers. When you click, it gives you that context menu. On a MacBook, that's the same. So if you are familiar with it, this shouldn't be anything new. Another nice quick tip is if you use a triple click, it actually opens up the link in a new window. So I'm just heading out to our website. Find a link in here somewhere. All right, so here's a link out to our hashtag. So if I do 3-finger click, it actually opened that up into its own tab. Remember, I could just done control click, but on a Chromebook, you can also do a 3-finger click to open up a link into another window. A double click is you tap twice, but as I'm doing this document, you can actually scroll with 2 fingers up and down on your trackpad. And you can also, let me go back out to that website, and maybe I go to a high school, open up a new tab. Everything's open up a new tab. All right, so I stayed in that tab. If I do a 3-finger swipe to the left, or 3-finger swipe, it moves between tabs. Okay. And then if I use 2 fingers and I swipe to the left, click, I can actually go back a page or forward a page. So it's like using your back button and forward buttons by using 2 fingers on the trackpad. So you can move pretty quickly between websites. If you check something out, like, I need to go back, you can swipe back. If you do a 3-finger swipe, it shows you all the windows that are open. So that's just like using the multiple windows key. And then I showed you the 3-finger swipe to the left moves you from one tab to another. It's quite sensitive. It takes a little bit of getting used to moving from one tab to the other, because generally you just move around and you can't find out where you are. So it takes a little practice. So just some tips for the trackpad. Okay, that's a little bit overview of Chrome, and you're going to be having a quiz then to take on Chrome and Chromebook shortcuts. Good luck.